What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today, BCH USDT. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon. Here we are, you guys, at about $525 on this, the third day of August. I might have spoken too soon whenever we were high and mighty, saying that the days of coming back down and being volatile were done. Bitcoin Cash is literally one of the most tradable, volatile coins, and it really has been since April 7th. We've just really maintained. I can't draw a straight line to save my life, man. It's so bad. I just need a mouse. That's what it is. I have a mouse pad. Higher lows, higher highs. We've really maintained this range pretty well, and as you can see, on the downside, we haven't gained any volume, right? As we're moving down, and on Binance USDT, that's like the most volume exchange in the world for crypto. Not a lot of volume. So moving up with volume, moving down without it, higher lows overall. I'm not worried about the price at all. Yes. It's discouraging when you're at $607 and you go all the way back to 526. But let's see, are we back testing this trend line? Are we back testing that lifelong dream of a trend line break? Oh, we can't find it on Binance. Let's go on Coinbase. Shame on you, Binance, for not listing sooner. And shame on you, Coinbase, for not having more volume. I want to put it on the daily time frame because I feel like it makes it a little bit more accurate, right? Like get it to the days. Because whenever it's on the weekly, it actually zooms it out. It puts it at like the wrong setting. Dude, I don't know what it is, but for Bitcoin Cash and that wick right there, it just won't hit unless you're zoomed in. I don't know what it is. Any video that I've made, I hate that I have to come back and zoom in and then zoom out and all this stuff. Okay, so here we are. Here we frickin' are, man. Are you freaking out, man? Let's see. You are freaking out, man. No, we are still above this area. So no, we haven't back tested it for support or anything like that. Okay, cool. We could go lower on that note. I mean, hell, go down. Break this trend line. Find support. I doubt we do. I don't think that we go lower. I do think that was it, but we're going to look at that on the 1 hour time frame and see. We're up about 1.1% today already. Bitcoin itself, BTC in comparison, is up about 0.5%. So here we are outperforming BTC. I want to look at BCH, BTC real quick just to get a good feel for what we're doing here on a weekly basis. You do look productive, man. You look very productive. Oh, ho, ho, ho. We're about to cross the zero line on the MACD oscillators, you guys. That's good. You know what happened last time? You know what happened the time before that? Do you guys remember? It was back in the glory. You guys. SHIT is about to pop off, all right? I'm just saying that for anybody who can't spell. But who the hell's watching this that can't spell? I don't know, man. Bearish divergence on the stochastics. I'm not worried about it. I don't care. It's not a big deal. Stochastics are kind of more forgiving with that stuff. With that being said, we actually have already moved down where the divergence started, so we don't need to move lower. Other than that, though, the MACD is actually, I would say that's a more powerful signal than this being a bearish signal is, and the RSI also looks very productive. So you guys understand over the weeks to come. Let's look at this. Let's see. I mean, here that was that week. Here that was that week, so it doesn't really help us actually. Over the weeks to come, we should see a rather robust move versus Bitcoin. We should be growing. I mean, here from a low to a high, moved up 180%. Here from a low to a high, we moved up 127%. I mean, we haven't really even seen a big move yet, so let's just take this low. Let's say 120%. That would put us back at about 0.009 of a Bitcoin. 180% might take us to new relative highs. We could be above 1% of a Bitcoin. I really wouldn't be surprised if we stopped at 1% of a Bitcoin just to find some psychological resistance there. Consolidate, we move up, we get a different reaction than we had the last two times, right? Rejection, we get a different reaction, then we get different results and some follow through. So, oh man, let's just think about this. Okay, let's expand upon this real quick. I didn't mean for this video to go this way, but let's expand upon this, okay? So, we're moving up to 1%. If you disagree with that, that's okay, but we're moving up to 1%. That's what's happening. We're going to move up to 1%, just below, just above, whatever, 1% of a Bitcoin. So think about what that means. Bitcoin is likely going to be worth about $180,000 to $190,000, maybe $160 at the lowest. So 1% then would be $1,600 for Bitcoin Cash, $1,900 for Bitcoin Cash, somewhere in that range. Okay, cool. If we move up a little bit more than 1%, maybe we see 2,000, maybe we see 2,200 or something like that, but probably nothing too crazy. This isn't the idea that I wanted to expand upon. I'm just starting with that. The idea that I want to expand upon is, where do we go afterwards? right? Again, the idea here is that we come up, we consolidate, maybe we go a little bit higher, but we consolidate in this range where we dropped before. Different behavior begets different results, okay? What are the inevitable results? We're not going to go all the way. I mean, maybe. I don't know. To be fair, we're breaking out of a lifelong consolidation phase. We could see a more bullish result than either of these other two BCH BTC pumps that we've seen this cycle. It's very possible that we do get a more bullish result. But if things go the way that I'm thinking they do, if things go the way that I think that they will, we'll consolidate for a little bit, and then end of the year, we'll start to run up to these areas, okay? Let's run with the thought real quick. If Bitcoin Cash was to go to 1.5% to 2.4% versus Bitcoin on this next move, if we don't do this and instead we just rip right through the freaking roof and we go up here, what would that mean? I expect Bitcoin to be between 160 to 190K between now and the end of September, sometime in there, okay? Bitcoin Cash then at 1.5% of 160K would actually be, is that $2,400? Am I right? No, I'm wrong. I'm tripling it. I shouldn't triple it. Right? Wait. Why can't I do this? I'm not even gonna try right now. My brain is fried. 1.5%. 1% would be 1,600. So you had a half. It would be 2,400. Yes, I was right. Okay, so $2,400. 2.4% of 160K. Why can't I do math right now? Would be over $3,500. So if we see this range, and that's just the low end of the range, let alone if we go to higher prices, we could get to 2,700 or more. You guys, we could really break through. If this dragon decides to soar on the BCH BTC chart, we really could see a multi, like not even a $2,000 doesn't even do it justice. Like it could be $3,000 or more of a Bitcoin Cash price. But that's cool. That's great. That's exciting, right? We're at $527. That's exciting. I'm not expecting that. I'm just running with this idea to tickle my fancy and maybe yours too, right? Well, this is more the idea that I have. But here's the part that is exciting, because this is inevitable. What's going to happen, right? We're going to move up here. We're going to do different things. Inevitably, we will get to this area, right? If things happen the way I think they're going to, that would mean that we get to this area when Bitcoin is at a higher price, not at 180K, 190K, 160K, but when it's worth multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars. Right? Think about it like that. What if Bitcoin's worth $200,000 to $300,000? $300,000 itself. Maybe we're at $400,000, $500,000. I don't know. I think Bitcoin will go to $500,000 by the end of the cycle, sometime in early 2026. End of the year, then we might be at like 250. 1% of 250 is 2,500. Add an extra half. Would that be? Why can't I do math, man? 1,750 is 2,500, right? 1,750 plus 1,750 is 2,500. No, that's 3,500. It's 1,250. 1,250 plus 1,250. What is wrong with me, man? I'm tired. That's what it is. That's just an excuse, though. 1,250, so then that'd be 3,750 at a minimum by the end of the year. 3,750, but that's assuming Bitcoin's at 250 by the end of the year. I don't know how high it'll be. I haven't done that end of year analysis, so I'm really just guessing here. But just running with the idea that we go to here at a minimum, that's some very promising results for Bitcoin Cash between now and the end of the year. Like we could really see a 10x in price now from $527 until the end of this year, which we're in the 8th month of the year. We've got, including this month, we've got 5 months left in the year to go. That's pretty impressive for Bitcoin Cash, you guys. Right, and this is just the primary target zone. What if we go higher? What if we go through this? You know, what if we go to this area here? Crazy, and we're only talking about really just doing math on this smaller, on the low end of this range. I would think after a consolidation phase like this, coming up, seeing your first higher highs versus Bitcoin, I would think that you stop at not the lowest end of the spectrum, probably the higher end of the spectrum. You probably go right to an area that makes sense. Prior resistance equals and prior support equals current resistance. That's probably what you do. Thousands of dollars, you guys. Bitcoin Cash will be worth like $5,000 or more by the end of this year. Not by the end of this cycle, by the end of this year. If not sooner, who knows? But getting back to the BCH USD stuff, okay, so we've moved down a little bit. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame. Okay, we'll zoom out from there. 1 hour time frame here. bullish divergence on the on the RSI and the stochastics, and bullish divergence on the MACD as well, on the oscillators and the histogram. That's nice to see. Beautiful. Moving down without volume, love to see it, right? You want to move down without volume, you want to move up with volume. 4-hour time frame here. Who's selling their Bitcoin Cash here? That's what I want to know. Like, I know that the price is manipulated to some degree, but who the hell's selling their Bitcoin Cash here, right? Can't be me. Must have been people who bought up here, man. Nobody in their right mind would be. You held through all of this. I mean, whether you bought here, whether you bought back here, you held through all this. Whether you bought any time before that, you held through all of this, just to sell here when we're finally above this trend line. That, who the hell's selling here? It doesn't make any sense. It's got to be manipulated, man. This is a effort by the big dogs or panic sellers, right? But how are panic sellers, retailers who bought in up here, who don't probably have as much capital as the big dogs do, how are they influencing the price? I don't think they are. I think it's completely, this has to be manipulated, because who, and I don't say that, right? I don't ever say that about Bitcoin Cash. I don't ever say that about other coins, but just genuinely thinking about it logically here, who the hell's selling here? Like, who is it? It doesn't make any sense. We're going to be moving up here pretty damn soon. Okay, we're going to be ripping and running. We looked at the BCH BTC chart. This thing's going to fly through the roof, and we should see targets that are going all the way up around, again, 1600 to 1800, I would think. If not, maybe a little bit higher if I'm underestimating things. But again, let's get back to the 4-hour time frame. Let's do the shorter term stuff real quick. 4-hour time frame, I don't like the RSI. Stochastics are kind of all right, and the MACD has bullish divergence, but I don't really like it overall either. We need to do some productive things. We just need to do some productive things and then turn this boat around. Okay, looking at this from a relative low to relative high perspective. Low to high here. 786 bounce, pretty common behavior actually, especially around crypto lately. 786. Typically, you found support at the golden ratio, so I wouldn't say that you have to go up here, but typically when you go from the 786 and you get above the 236, that does validate this as a low, and then you continue to rip higher above this high here. So 577 is the goal. We're at 526. That shouldn't be too hard. Get above $577, validate this low, validate that we're going higher, and once we get above 577, or if not there, at least above this high, we really should see Bitcoin Cash move at a pace that we haven't seen since 2024 and 2023. I'm talking about weeks where we're moving up 50% or more. Months where we're moving up hundreds of percents, right? Like, that's coming. That's going to come by the end of this month of August, and probably sometime in September as well. October could even be good. I mean, we might be in up-only moments right now, you guys. Again, we don't know what we're dealing with. We really don't know. What should scare you about Bitcoin Cash is that you don't have enough of it, because we don't know what we're dealing with. We really don't. We've never been outside of this home range that we've been bound to since inception, right? Like, we didn't know until really here. We've been bound to it though for several cycles now, a good part of this cycle. It might perform as intended, right? We go to 16 to 1800, $2,000, something like that. It might perform as intended. It might outperform as intended largely. We might have some serious catching up to do. Because again, the thought here all this time is Bitcoin Cash is a scam. Bitcoin Cash is a dead project. Bitcoin Cash lost the war versus Bitcoin. Bitcoin prevailed. Bitcoin Cash is in a downtrend. It's only going down. Lower highs every cycle. What happens whenever that's not true anymore? What happens whenever people, chartists, people with open minds and eyeballs, see this for what it is, a lifelong consolidation phase, and you're breaking out of it now, the likes of which we've only seen with XRP and Stellar Lumens, which are top performers of this cycle? What happens when you have the news? And I'm telling you guys, I wouldn't be surprised if with this next pump we had news of nation states or other institutions investing in Bitcoin Cash the way that they're doing with like Solana, XRP, Cardano, Ethereum, Bitcoin, of course, right? I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin Cash started to get that recognition. It's going to be intense. And even if it's just as intense as I expect it to be, it's still going to be intense. More intense than anything we've seen in a while. And really its whole existence. Maybe excluding this part here. But what's coming after this, you guys? I really would not be surprised if we were at above 20K sometime in early 2026. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't even be surprised if we were at 50K. I'd be a little bit surprised if we were at 50K. But I don't know, maybe. Bitcoin itself goes to 500,000. I want to take this low, maybe. No, we're going to take that low. Bitcoin itself goes to 500,000. What if Bitcoin Cash? No, you probably don't just rip all the way up to 10%. So you probably don't go to 50K. That would be nuts, man. I'm not saying it can't happen, but that would be nuts, right? Like this is something like this. It's going to take time to get up there. It's going to take years to get back up there. Okay. It will happen, but it's going to take time. Maybe we see some crazy pump up to the golden ratio, whatever. We get a little bear market going on and we have like a soft curve, but that would be the craziest I could see. So maybe not 50K, but 20K, 10K at least, something in that area. I really wouldn't be surprised, man. Absolutely, we're going to see new all-time highs, though. I got nothing else for you guys. I'm reveling in the fact that we're about to see some great things happen. And Bitcoin Cash has, yet again, provided an opportunity where you can confidently buy at a higher low if you desire to. Right? It's pretty good opportunity to buy here. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I'll see you guys on the next one. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Take care of yourselves, all right? Bye-bye.